Hey guys, it's Angel, and today I am going to be doing my second installment in my Reviewing Albums series, and I'm going to be reviewing Selfish Machines by Pierce the Veil. Now, I'm not going to review all the rules and like my guidelines for what I do in the way of point system. If you want to see that, then at the top of the description will be my last video in case you either didn't see it or need a little refresher. It's at the beginning of the video, like first few minutes. I'll even put a timestamp next to it as to where you can go to start looking for that information. So I'm just gonna get straight into, my ranking. Alright, at number 13, the very worst song off the album is Fast Times at Claremont High. Fast Times at Claremont High's issue really did seem to be Vic's understandability and the pleasant sound in both the vocals and the music. I really didn't like the way it sounded. I just thought it was not very good overall, and it lost a lot of points lyrically because the message was not very clear and it wasn't very complex. The second worst song broke my heart, but it's Stay Away From My Friends. Oh my gosh, I didn't want to put it here, but y'all know I judge all these objectively, so sometimes my favorite song can end up at the bottom, and one that I really liked did end up at the bottom. The big issue with Stay Away From My Friends came with the lyric quality. It was very simplistic, it was not very complex, and the message was hard to understand. Other than that, really the song was good. Like, Vic wasn't very understandable at moments, but it was a good song. The big issue was the message not being very clear or understandable. I literally had to sit there and listen to it over and over and over again before I learned to like this song, before I started to like this song. Other than that, if I could have ranked it higher, I promise I would have, but it just didn't earn a higher ranking. Alright, for the best of the worst songs, I guess, would be I Don't Care If You're Contagious. I didn't like this song at all. Not in the slightest. I really breaks me that I had to put it above Stay Away From My Friends, but I didn't like it at all. Vic wasn't understandable. The lyrics for this song were just bad. Like, I didn't like them. They were my least favorite lyrics. And y'all know I read the lyrics like poetry before I rate the song or listen to the song again, just to give myself a refresher of what the lyrics are so I can judge them without judging how they sound, because that's what vocal and instrumental quality is for. And I mean, it just wasn't complex. There wasn't a very clear message or story, and it was not understandable. Alright, my two dishonorable mentions are Southern Constellations and She Makes Dirty Words Sound Pretty. She Makes Dirty Words Sound Pretty was the one that placed a bit higher. Now I had a tie for I Don't Care If You're Contagious, Southern Constellations, and She Makes Dirty Words Sound Pretty. They were all a 12.75, but what I ended up doing was judging them based upon which one had better sound pleasure, which one was more pleasant to listen to. Now, the reason Southern Constellations wasn't ranked higher is because it was so short and there wasn't much to rate it on. It really, there just wasn't much there. There's not much to say. It sounded beautiful, but there wasn't much there. Now, She Makes Dirty Words Sound Pretty. This was the bonus feature. And I like this song, don't get me wrong, but it's just a stripped down song that isn't very complex. The guest singer is great, and Vic sounds good. It's just, it's not very complex, which really killed it, because it got really good scores in areas other than complexity and clear story for the lyrics. I just couldn't understand the story very well, and it wasn't a complex song, and that's really what got it as low as it is. Now for my three forgettable songs. In order of from lowest scoring to highest scoring, The Boy Who Could Fly, The Sky Under the Sea, and Bestitos. Now, I like all of these songs. I like all of these songs. I think that they're good songs. However, they just happen to rank in the forgettable area, the ones that are just kind of like, they're there. The issue with Bestitos really came in with Vic being pleasant sounding and understandable in his vocal delivery. That really was where the issue lied, because it was pretty complex. It's got 2s and a 2.5 for complexity over here, and it had mostly 1s on everything. except for understandability and pleasant sound for Vic's vocals. That was what killed this song. Had it not been that low, I really think this song, well, I know this song would have been higher. The Sky Under the Sea didn't get much higher. It wasn't even a full point higher, neither was Bestitos. The Sky Under the Sea's issue really came into a pleasant sound instrumentally, a pleasant sound vocally, in it being understandable instrumentally, and it being not great lyrically. Like, it wasn't very understandable. It got like half a point for that, and you can only get 1 point, so it got a 0.5. So that really killed it. Its message and its story weren't very clear. It got a 0.75 for both of those, and it wasn't very complex. It got the same complexity score as I Don't Care If You're Contagious, and not much got lower than that. Bestitos, though, actually, it was only killed by Vic not being understandable. You couldn't understand Vic. You couldn't really understand the lyrics very well. I mean, I could understand them easier than I could understand Stay Away From My Friends. I got the message faster. I got the story faster. They just weren't extremely understandable, but Vic killed the song. I'm sorry. Vic did not have a pleasant sounding voice, and Vic was not understandable when he sang. So of course it was going to be ranked lower. Alright, now we're getting into my honorable mentions in order of lowest scoring to highest scoring. We have the new national anthem and Disasterology. I love, first of all, I'm going to point out, I love Disasterology. Great song. Wonderful. So the new national anthem. The new national anthem, what really seemed to get it wasn't the instrumentals. It was Vic's understandability, and it wasn't a complex song lyrically. It got great scores with understandable, clear message, clear story, just wasn't complex. Vic didn't sound great. That's really where all the issues came in, because other than that, if that had been changed, it would have gotten a perfect score. Disasterology had an issue with Vic's being understandable and Vic being pleasant sounding. It didn't get a great perfect score for complexity anywhere. It got 2.5s, which the highest you can go is 3, as you know. But it only got 0.75s for understandability and pleasant sound vocally. I just feel like Vic could have delivered better, and I feel like his emotional execution was really good, but I feel like that almost clouded everything. The same problem was in Stay Away From My Friends. Alright, now we're getting into the 3 best. Let's go. This is gonna be great. Okay. My number 3 is Paraphernalia. This song was so close to having a perfect score. What killed it was its complexity, its understandability, and its message, all lyrically. The message was not very clear in this song, but the story was really good. And you could understand the message after, like, 1 or 2 reads. It was understandable after 1 or 2 reads. It wasn't extremely complex. It was pretty direct. And, I mean, that's not always bad. But it was just a very direct song. And I felt like there could have been a bit more metaphors in there and a little bit more allusions to things. Literal nitpicky things, really, that could have been fixed that would have gotten this a really great score. It got a 15.5 actually out of 17, which is really good. This is a beautiful song. It's got amazing emotional execution, but it doesn't have the same problem that Disasterology and Stay Away From My Friends have, where their emotional execution clouds Vic's singing. They even have a guest artist on there that screams, and his screaming doesn't take away from the song like in some of the songs back on Flair for the Dramatic. It adds to the song, and I think that that was just so cool. I think that it was definitely important. It wasn't just screaming for the sake of screaming and having screaming in your song. It was screaming with a purpose, which is something that is very important if you're going to have screaming in a song. Alright. Number 2 is one of my favorites, $1 Million Houses. I love $1 Million Houses. Oh my gosh. It got a perfect score in instrumentally, not so much vocally because Vic wasn't very understandable at parts, but that was again because he was so emotional about the song, because the song is about his dad and his mom's love. Of course it's going to be that way. Lyrically, It is gorgeous. It just got killed a little bit with complexity. I mean, I'm very hard when it comes to complexity. Like, you have to be a really good song to get a 3 complex-wise, because I'm really, really hard when it comes to the complexity of the lyrics, and, like, not as much the understandability, the clear message, and the clear story, but I grade so hard on the complexity of the lyrics. So the fact that this got a 2, the fact that one got a 2.5, and that there are 2 3s on here is amazing, because last time, I don't know how many 3s I had. I might have had a bit more. I think I did this one a little bit tougher. But $1 Million Houses was a gorgeous song with this auto-tune in the beginning that sounded so cool, or this vocal effect that I just thought sounded so cool on Vic's voice. And it didn't take away. Like, I think one of these songs somewhere had a vocal effect that made the sound not so pleasant and made me have to dock points from pleasant sound. But that didn't happen in $1 Million Houses. It was beautiful. It sounded nice. It was a great song. It deserves where it is. Now, finally, you've probably figured it out by now, but with a perfect score of 17, the best song off this album is Bulletproof Love. I love this song. You can hear Vic's emotion in the song. You can tell he cares about the story. You can tell that the people playing the instruments care about the story. You can tell when instrumentalists don't care about a story. They don't play as well. It got a completely perfect score. Everything was perfect about it. I loved the instrumentals. It was complex. It had a good sound. It was beautiful. It just had so many facets to it. It told a wonderful story. I mean, just the first part, I breathe you in with smoke, in the backyard lights, we used to laugh until we choked into the wasted night. It was the best time of my life, and now I sleep alone, so darling, don't come waking me up because my thrill is gone. And now the sunset's turning red behind the smoke, forever and alone. That's amazing lyrics! And Vic sounded so good on this song. It deserves where it is. It deserved a perfect score. And I don't think anyone will be surprised by this, because it's a popular song. But it's a popular song because it's a good song. It's not popular just for the sake of being popular. It's popular because it's good. It's popular because it's beautiful. Alright, now we're going to move on to my personal favorites and guilty pleasures. First off, we have Southern Constellations. I love Southern Constellations. It is such a good song. It's so pretty, and I feel like they could have done more with it, you know, if they'd added some verses. But I definitely understand them wanting to have a little interlude type thing there. I just feel like more could have been done with this song. Then, of course, Paraphernalia. I love Paraphernalia. It's so angry, it's so good, it's good when you're mad and you just want to, you know, punch something or kick your wall. It's a great song to listen to if you're a music person and that helps you let out anger. This is your song. Of course, we have the perfect score song, Bulletproof Love, which is just beautiful and wonderful, and I love it so much. I love Bulletproof Love. It is probably my favorite Pierce the Veil song. That is actually debatable, but we're gonna get to that later in other videos, because I'm not done reviewing their albums yet. But yeah, definitely near the top of the list of my favorite Pierce the Veil songs. Next up, we have Stay Away From My Friends, which is actually so pretty. Stay away from my friends. I love that song. It's so good. It's so pretty. I just feel like Vic emoted a little too much in this song, and that really got it. Next up, we have Dishonorable. Of course, I love Dishonorable. I love the subject matter. I love the way the lyrics flow. I just feel like it could have been executed better. Next up on my favorite songs, we have $1 Million Houses. Of course, who doesn't like $1 Million Houses? It's so good. It's so nice sounding. It's so pleasant to listen to. I don't know anybody who doesn't like the song when I play it for them. The only thing that's ever gotten people is the vocal effect in the beginning, but I actually think that it was executed really well, and it sounds really good. So I definitely would say that one of my favorite songs will always be Million Dollar Houses, because I just think it's beautiful and it tells a beautiful story. Lastly, my guilty pleasure and favorite song, well, one of my favorite songs, is She Makes Dirty Words Sound Pretty. I think that it's a really pretty song, and it's really simple, and it appeals to that, you know, simplistic part of my head that's like, oh, I just want to hear a simple little stripped down guitar with a vocalist, or maybe two, with simple sounding voices, nothing too crazy. It definitely appeals to that, but if more had been done with it, I feel like I would have been able to rank it higher. Alright, that is all for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I hope that you got something out of this. Tell me in the comments below if you agree or if you disagree with my findings, anything that you want to critique me on with my critiques, how I can make these videos better. Gotta let me know in the comments, or I don't know what I'm doing. Thank you all so much. Bye.